All right, welcome into Breeze. I am Harrison running the board here back in studio. We got the host, as always, DP and Haas, and we get an update on the week that you guys had. Know you were in Detroit for SummerSlam. Haas had some pretty good questions. We have some of those interviews pulled up as well. But guys, how's it going?
Good. DP's still in Detroit.
Oh, brother, you don't even understand. You don't even understand. This
More
is this
flight
is
problems?
crazy. Well, Harrison is the problem. Like, so Detroit is the one airport that I've been to that I can recall that doesn't have like a club lounge for you to go in and do this sort of thing. So imagine spending 45 minutes trying to find the one corner of a busy international airport that doesn't have like 500 people walking around you, standing around you, staring at you. And like, look at this guy. So of course you're going to get several announcements throughout the course of this hour.
Oh,
And we're going to lose internet.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a possibility. So, yep, DP, you were just speaking on it. We'll work through the technical difficulties as you you suffer through that airport Wi-Fi.
Oh, bruh, like literally jumping in. See, normally you could go and you give credit to the airline and it has a lounge and you can go in and it's got super Wi-Fi. It's super savvy and fast. No,
Yeah.
not Detroit is not doing. Detroit is not doing that for me, and I'm not having for my most frequent airline that I normally use. They are not having a good weekend with me. They lost my bags yesterday. Oh yeah, they lost the bags. Uh, so just imagine going to SummerSlam. Poor Haas. I sent him on a scavenger hunt trying to find something for me to wear to SummerSlam, so that I wouldn't be the guy wearing, yesterday's clothes to a wrestling event around 50,000 of your closest friends. So, yeah, we made it work. And then Haas can tell you about the Uber situation. Detroit and Uber is just, oh, good heavens, man. Like, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
I have a couple Uber stories. So the first one is me getting from the airport to my hotel. And this lady was an older lady. And she's like, "Are you scared of Detroit?" And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, "You're going to Dearborn. Dearborn has all the falafels and all the Muslims. Like, why are you going to Dearborn?" And I was like, "Because my brother DP told me to go to Dearborn." She's like, "You're scared. You scared, boy. You scared."
Yeah, well, brother DP knows better. Like there's certain places I'm gonna send my people. I was not. We got a taste. It's so funny too. Before Haas gets back to his Uber story, we got caught up in. So imagine a wrestling match at a football stadium.
Uh-huh.
So 50,000 people, and then downtown Detroit on a Saturday night. Oh, this was like I whispered to Haas, "Hey, bruh, I can't remember the last time I was downtown anywhere on a Saturday night, let alone Detroit. Like it was, bruh, we were having at it. It was crazy."
It's a good thing with the way we were dressed, we look like wrestlers, so it's not like anyone was going to mess with us.
The connection was real in Detroit. That's what I'm getting
Oh
at.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Speaking of connection, hey, we're gonna lose DP here and there, but there's so many stories that we have from last night, from the weekend. Oh man, I guess
So
the
where'd
first
that
thing
Uber one? Was that kind of the wrap up there? Just calling you scared when you're on your way?
I won't get too much into it because I don't know how much Nebraska will get it, but I had to explain to her that I'm a spades and whist player, so she's like, oh, my bad. You even said whist, my bad.
Yeah. See, that's the stuff that I have to teach. Like Harrison gets a daily infusion of life outside of Nebraska through the talent. He's like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure he's never played bid whist, but I might be willing to take the bet that he's played spades once or twice.
Yeah, we'll put it this way. You guys, it's a great place for me to come and work and experience diversity and what I consider the Nebraska bubble.
We'll bring the
True.
inclusion to you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Uh,
But the beauty here. Let's take a step back from wrestling real quick. So it's funny if someone was to watch me, and then someone was to observe DP. We are the same person. So we love to talk to people and give them energy and give them love and pick them up. Every Uber ride, we're giving them a different ride for them. It's the ride of their day. And so it doesn't matter who they are, what they look like, how old they are, how young they are. That's just who we are. And it's funny. Well, if you're with DP, you got to take a step back and hear DP talk. So it's just that was the joy of being like, my gosh, we are very similar. We are. I am his mini me. I am his mini me. So it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, no, we Harrison, we got in the Uber on the way to SummerSlam, and a young brother from Detroit, and he wanted to get into it. He starts talking ball, and he says, "Yeah, you guys should be Lions fans." And I was like, "Wow, like you need to get outside of the state, bro. Like, the Lions aren't even allowed to talk about Super Bowls. Like you, let alone like you could host them, but how about hosting a party you're not even invited to? Like that,
But
And then
Matthew Stafford.
oh yeah, he was claiming Matthew Stafford, his Rams Super Bowl as a Detroit Lions Super Bowl. But it's a pretty cool building. The young man, he took it. Like we gave him a few life lessons.
well, as DP loses connection, if you're a Detroit fan, I feel like you have to absolutely hold on to anything that's hopeful for you. That's how you get through the day. So even if he's wrong, you got to hold on to those threads if you're a Lions fans. We got Nick Sainert in the building over at the ticket. You can hear him trying to excuse his sorry Lions year after year. I think right now he's got the Lions winning the division. That's his current bet this year for the Lions.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What a big bet.
Right.
No Aaron Rodgers. The Bears are going to go 7-10 at best. Like,
hey, I'll be
ooh.
happy. This might be the first year where I don't know if you've heard all the Jordan Love rumors kind of coming out of camp, but man, the defense is calling out the offense every day, telling them they're not good enough. They're getting destroyed.
Oh, okay, good. I was about to
They're
say.
calling out Jordan Love. Yeah, and Jones is frustrated at the running back position. He's saying the offense sucks, like flat out. Like Bears might have it over the Green Bay finally, and that's a win for me. I just want to see us sitting above the Green Bay Packers and see some development from Justin Fields, hopefully. But that's enough about the NFL. I kind of got off the tangent there because that news was kind of crazy. Hearing the Packers drama, you just haven't gotten that for a while, unless it was Rodgers saying something, but he was so good that it was hard to even take joy in it because he was still going to come and beat the Bears anyways, whatever the drama surrounding Rodgers was. This feels substantial, and the Packers don't really have a lot of outs right now, so I'm just excited. But anyways, let's get back to Detroit. DP was leaving off on another Uber story. You remember where he left off on that one? We can finish it up.
No, it's okay. So the thing that we'll do, I don't know if DP can hear us, but whenever he has a good connection, we'll be sure to
I'll plug
transition.
him out for now, and then when he's back, I'll just plug him back in real quick.
We'll be sure to transition to him and let him describe last night because it's the beauty of going there as media is you get to see different things and in different ways. For me, what I really loved was going there earlier and the day before, being a part of the community service. If you have the clip with Cody Rhodes, they allowed the media to talk to wrestlers, and it was a little frustrating for me that some of the media members were asking some pretty dumb questions. It's like, why are you trying to annoy some guy who's a massive superstar who has taken the time out of his day to give back to the community? So they're doing community service, and with that, they were making meals and creating bags of food, and with that 62,000 meals that they made, all the money that came from it would go to the V Foundation and Connor's Cure. So it was the first time that they had fans interact with the wrestlers, and the fans were making the bags. So they paid tickets to come in and do that. And so
and I do got that audio clip for you whenever you're ready for it. But also real quick, I think we actually have DP trying to call in instead. So let me plug him in real quick. This is 93.7 Ticket the Breeze. DP, is that you?
Yeah. I figured this might be easier than dealing with the wonkiness of Wi-Fi in Detroit.
Absolutely. Well, DP, you just left off. Haas was talking about the question he had and to Cody Rhodes. And Haas, you mentioned that, some of those questions weren't great. You can tell when you asked your question, I cut it out for the clip's sake, but it was a breath of fresh air for him. And it was a more genuine response than you're getting out of some of the other ones. So here is Cody Rhodes on giving back.
Yeah, no. It's a great question. Thank you for bringing it up because that's the most exciting thing that's happening. 62,000 meals likely to be packed, all going to the city of Detroit, going to these food banks. In addition to that, the VIP element of this, all of that money going to Connor's Cure and the V Foundation, every piece of that, literally every cent goes there. So every piece of that is the best thing that we can do, not just as a wrestler, superstar, person packing the meals, fan attending the event, media attending the event. There's a good feeling that surrounds all this. It's funny, almost juxtaposed against I have to wrestle Brock Lesnar tomorrow, and it will be violent, physical, maybe bloody, and maybe just absolute chaos. But we still all came to the city of Detroit, one of the most classic and beautiful cities in the world, and doing this for, again, Connor's Cure and the V Foundation. Wonderful spots. Every cent goes there. And all of this mac and cheese getting packed for these food banks. Thank you guys, for being here. And I'm happy to be part of this. I would do this every time we come to a city. Happy to be here.
So there it is. Cody Rhodes and giving back to the community. You can speak more on it, but it was a great question, Haas.
No, thanks for that. First class guy, and the beauty about Cody Rhodes, with how DP and I love to motivate and give talks to people and talk to them about grit, resiliency, and perseverance. Cody Rhodes embodies that. So his perseverance in his career with the different storylines that he had. This is his first WrestleMania or SummerSlam in 8 years, and it's the first SummerSlam in 10 years of being Cody Rhodes because he was Stardust before that. So he had the perseverance for his career and during the match because he was getting beat up by Brock Lesnar. He was getting destroyed by Brock Lesnar. So the suplexes, the F5s outside of the ring, the F5 on the announce table. DP and I were talking, and I whispered to him, I'm like, what did he say to him after that F5 through the table and he got up? And I still couldn't read the lips when I watched the video this morning, but it pretty much to me, it was like, is that all you got? And so for Cody to go through that, conquer the beast, slay the beast, beat him twice in 3 months, to beat Seth Rollins 3 times last year, this is a beautiful story, not only for his professional career, but for his life. I'm really happy for Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. DP, do you have anything to add to that? I don't know. Were you able to listen into that audio clip of Cody Rhodes?
Oh, yeah. It was. Of course, as soon as we do that, too.
Life in Detroit. DP talking about United Airlines.
Literally, this is like 6 gates away from me. Yeah, it's fantastic. No, the reality behind the Cody Rhodes story for me is, one, what the family's gone through. The legacy, of course, matters. But that he's willing to go through the grind again. A lot of people that would come back to WWE from outside would want to be perched at the top without the work and being given immediate success. Cody said, no, give me the best. I want to fight the best. I want to be matched against the best. And then away from the arenas, Cody is legitimately heroic. And it's good to like, there's quite a few folks like that in the WWE. Of course, John Cena being on the Mount Rushmore of that. But Cody is next. And that bodes well for both the Rhodes family and WWE to have Cody willing to take this thing on and go with it.
Yeah, it's beautiful that he's getting to live his dream, and you could tell that he's a real wrestler, and to have his dad be on the Mount Rushmore. The other thing that stood out from the press conference was He really loved the Peacock documentary. So if you haven't seen it yet, Nebraska, you need to check it out. He's hoping it gets a lot of attention. He thought it was really well done, and he was getting a little emotional with it. So make sure to check out the documentary for Cody Rhodes on Peacock.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a good one to check out. And Haas, you mentioned it, but the run he's kind of been on lately, and they definitely have a guy they can sell, right? He's pretty honest about his passion for WWE. Not only that, you hear a guy like him talk about giving back to the community, easy guy to root for as well. So they have someone they can market going forward here. And yeah, just awesome stuff from him. Was there anything else in that press conference from Rhodes that really stuck out to you before we move on?
So it was interesting. It was asking him about some of his matches in the past in the dog collar match, and he's like, I still have that dog collar in my bag. And so he was asked who would he want to wrestle with in a dream match, and one idiot was like, Omos! And it's like, okay, you're not a media member if you're yelling out stuff when Cody Rhodes is talking. But he said Karrion Kross. So if Karrion Kross is one of the last guys in the Battle Royal, and he was going to get attention last summer, and he's on the tip of the tongue of Cody Rhodes, maybe in the next year we'll see some more of Karrion Kross. So that was interesting to hear.
Haas, you know what? And while I got that, I only wanted one answer. There was only one answer. I wanted Cody to wrestle his dad.
Oh, well,
Like
so
that's the only, like in a dreamscape, it would be amazing to have Dusty and Cody go at it, right? And in full, right? Not baby Cody, but this version of it. I think one of our shows should be perfect matchmaking. Like we should just, not just for an event, but through all of wrestling, the great matches that you could put together.
How
The
old
ones
is Dusty now?
that you saw or maybe didn't see. It would be pretty cool.
So with that, since everything he does, people think is because for his father and the emotions that he has, he was asked, like, what advice would your dad give you if he were still alive with these matches, like, or going into a match with Brock Lesnar, or watching you from the gorilla position? What advice would he give you? And he's like, since I'm at the age that I am in my life right now, my dad wouldn't give me any advice. He knows I know what he would just be there to love me and cheer me on. So that was one. But two, the thing that I also get, he says everyone says it's for my dad, but it's for my wife and for Liberty. These are the reasons why I wrestle. They're my why, and so it's important to realize that this is a multi-generational Rhodes family.
Yeah. And the fact that his wife is in the game, she's connected to it, she's around it, she's a product of it. I just think the family aspect of it in wrestling is kind of what carried it through, and it was missing a little bit. And now, of course, that other family has stepped up and taken the reins. I didn't mean to do that, but I just did.
Who?
Yeah, to have the other family step up as well. Look, that's all of it's a tribute to wrestling at its core. Is the families, the multi-generational levels, and then the passing on of talent, skill, and stories. So, I think they're doing a very good job.
Absolutely. And then we do got to go to break here. Haas, you got anything to add before we hit our first break?
So we talked about SummerSlam, and we just talked about Roman Reigns. It's interesting. What are we going to say about the Roman Reigns Tribal Chief match against Jey Uso? We'll talk about it after the break.
And you heard it right there first. We'll talk about that after the break. And again, if you guys want to join the show, Starter Hammond text line 402-464-5685. This is The Breeze. We got DP on the line, Haas streaming in. I'm in the studio. With that being said, though, we'll go ahead and throw it to our first break and be back in just a little bit.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415. or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit, and you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour, an opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You are so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the breeze here on Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arns running the board. And again, if you guys want to join the show, Sartor Heyman text line 402-464-5685. And if you want to watch these streams, because keep in mind, we do have, Royals on the FM airwaves. So if you want to watch the show, streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. We also have DP on the phone as these guys got back from Detroit. Super Slam, great event. Got some great media content from those guys down there as well. As long as it's like I was reading a lot of Slim Jims. I'm not sure what that's about yet. I'll have to ask you. But Slim Jims were on your guys' Twitter feed quite a bit. I don't know if you had unlimited supplies, kind of what it sounded like. But yeah, just overall, I feel like we need more than an hour. But Haas, where do you want to go next?
WWE Harrison wants to change the name to Super SummerSlam, so you got to change it and make it Super, not just SummerSlam from now on. It's got to be bigger. That's number one. Number two, yeah, DP saw all those Slim Jims, and it brings back the memories of Macho Man. But before we go and talk about the main event, we talked about dream matches, and Titus O'Neil was there, and he looks the part still, and we asked him, or I asked him, who would he want to wrestle in a dream match if he still had that opportunity? And he said it's not going to be possible based on his schedule, but it would be nice to wrestle Batista. So a Titus Batista, big super athlete match. Maybe that's in the cards in the next couple of years. Who knows? So that was one thing, and the other thing that unfortunately is sad, but it's the reality of life. Big E, he was there, and with his broken neck, with the location of his injury, he at one point had to potentially fuse his C1, C2. And if you fuse your C1, C2, anyone that's a medical expert in the cervical spine, that means it's up here, and that means you can't move your neck. So can't wrestle with that. And so he said he's 37. 2 doctors have told him he shouldn't wrestle again. And so with that, not wrestling again, he understands that there's so much more to life, and he's already lived so much. And it was cool to hear him talk about how he has a strong mindset, and he knows that things like this just allow you to bounce back, and he was preaching mindset to the media members, so that was cool. But DP, since there isn't an airline talking right now, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the main event right now, or was there something else on your mind from last night that you want to talk about?
Real quick,
first,
before you get going,
I need for
DP.
Harrison to give the proper read for the Allo VIP line.
Yep.
I'm currently on the phone. That's the line that I'm on now. So Harrison, if you could read that for me, greatly appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. We got DP on the Allo VIP line. Again, VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where we understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. So again, shout out to Allo for making a lot of this possible for us and helping us out with getting DP on the connection on the VIP hotline. But as you were saying, DP, before I cut you off.
Yeah, so if you go into the main event, or you go into the card itself, again, an interesting lineup, card roster opening with Logan Paul and Ricochet. Not sure that was the move, but apparently he had other things to attend later that evening that he needed to get his fight done so he could get on the road and be with his brother. I thought the opening fight should have been Lesnar and Cody. As a matter of fact, you could have made Cody and Lesnar the feature. Like that could have been the closeout, and you could have opened with the bloodline. But what they did with it, we were joking, Harrison. We joked last night when we were asking Haas to grade the different fights. Matches on the card, and at the end of this, the close, while surprising, still kind of left me kind of disappointed, and it just felt like there should have been a bigger bang and kick to it. Like if he's gonna do that, that should be the finishing move. Period. Point blank, then out of there, and then they left us hanging. So yeah, we'll show up tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw to get more answers. We also talked quite a bit about this. there were some people missing from the card that left me wanting. No Sami Zayn, no Kevin Owens, no Becky Lynch. There was Austin Theory got thrown into the Battle Royal. That match was kind of wasted. But I think the ladies match, the three-way, better than I expected it to be. Bianca Belair with the full sell. I'm going to close with a rant about Io Sky winning the strap. Like, I'm going to close. I'm going to take a minute, and I'm just going to rant because it made zero sense. But the feature event delivered. It didn't deliver a 10. It delivered a 9, and it left some room for discussion. Haas, am I fair in the 9, or do you think I'm going too low?
SummerSlam last year was Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. And it was a last man standing match. And there was a forklift, and the ring was flipped over. There was 4 guys putting everything in the arena on top of Brock Lesnar so he couldn't get up anymore. There was a potential cash-in by one of the biggest, most annoying losers in WWE with Austin Theory, but still he got destroyed, so that was cool. Paul Heyman got beat up by his old guy and Brock Lesnar. So that main event compared to this main event, very different. Very different. And as much as we love Jay is not Brock Lesnar. Jay is not The Rock. Jay is not John Cena. So that's part of it. Part of it is, okay, maybe you let Jay win for a couple months. That would have been shocking. Roman winning for 1,100 days in a row now, whatever the number is. It's like Goldberg and 106-0, 107-0, 108-0. The number's just, it's huge. So letting Roman Reigns continuously have the belt, there wasn't really a surprise to SummerSlam. Oh, Io cashed in. Well, someone had to cash in. I turned to you and I was like, she's going to cash in now. Let's go look for her. And so it was a little obvious. There was going to be interference in the Roman Reigns match. And with the way the Bloodline storyline has gone since last fall, it's like watching a soap opera and figuring out who slept with whom. Because this person is now with this person, and A is with B, now A is with C, and B is with C, and it's just all, what? I can't keep up. So Jay was against Sami Zayn, then with Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn is with Roman, without. So there's so many turns inside the bloodline that it wasn't that big of a surprise for his brother to do that to him. Now, sitting next to you, I admittedly thought that should be Sami Zayn, and then that would be another story. But this affords some time off for Roman. This affords the 3 brothers, Solo, Jimmy, and Jay, doing many different matches, either at Payback, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, to then allow for the big main event in Philadelphia at WrestleMania, whether it's Roman Rock or Roman Cody.
Yeah, this is the thing. SummerSlam usually sets the table. You've got the next succession. Of course, you got you get some of the team pay-per-views and those battles. But I'm not sure that I'm interested in that, because you're going to have to put somebody with Roman Reigns in order to do any of that. I'm not sure why you would bury Sammy and KO on. Is that the 3rd biggest pay-per-view of the year? Right?
Royal Rumble.
Biggest WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, right? I mean, am I missing? What's the 4th?
Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania.
Yeah, and so, to me, you left a lot of, as my grandmother used to say, baby, you left a lot of meat on the bone. There's a lot of content that should have been there. I don't know what you do with Roman Reigns, and I don't know what you do with Jimmy and Jay. I thought the move was going to be turn solo. To turn solo would have made more sense than Jimmy. Or to turn Sammy, as you said, to turn Sammy would have made some sense. At least interesting storylines like, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't understand what they're going to do with Jimmy. I guess we'll find out tomorrow night. And then I'm curious, what's next for Cody, and then what's next for Brock? Because some would argue that Brock and Cody are bigger, or bigger. They're more on fire than Roman and Jay. And I could be wrong in that, but it seems to me like they've got some decisions to make.
I mean, if it's from a power ranking perspective, and you're going to argue who's number one, but let's say Roman Reigns is number one, Brock Lesnar's number two, Cody's number three, Seth's number four. I don't know if Jay is number five. So 2 versus 3 is always going to be better than 1 versus 7 or 1 versus 8, 1 versus 9. So that's why that is so good. Now, if Seth Rollins was facing Roman Reigns, then that's a different story. And so that's a nice transition real quick. The way they handled the Finn Balor match, you talked about it. What could they have done differently to make the Finn Balor match better?
Yeah, I see. I still don't know. You still got you still got a suitcase out there. You buried your hottest. If you did your top 5, I'm not sure that based on our conversations and the internet, that in the top 5 we left the top 5 are out of that list. I'm not sure that Rhea is not hotter than Seth.
Correct.
Right. So.
Correct.
And they didn't. I mean, her job last night was to cheerlead. Wow, what a waste. So, what do you do? Do you break up the faction? How do you break it up? Can you pair them with somebody else again before you have Survivor Series, where it matters, where teams matter, factions matter? That's where they excel and highlight. Yeah, it was just. I mean, it was a great. It was all in all, it was a great night. But I'm like you in that I wanted more because they could have done more. Right? It just seemed like there's no surprise. There was no Randy Orton showing. There was no Rock showing. There was no nobody crossing over. Nobody from NXT popped, and you just didn't do any of that.
Right. Hey, and a thought that just popped in my mind: Rhea Ripley, she just beats up people. She could have just came out of the crowd and clotheslined Io Sky and been like, I'm not going to let you win that belt. I'm in charge of all of the women's division. So they could have done that to involve her. Something.
Right.
She's definitely, before we go to break here, do you guys see there's a video where it was when they're just taking pictures, and it was like this 13-year-old kid, and it's Ripley and Dom, and he just shoves Dom out of the shot completely, and he's like, no, I just want to be here with Ripley. Kind of tells you that even the younger fans are like, nah, she's the one, she's the celebrity that people actually want to go and watch and see. They definitely could have used her more, but we got to go to break here. We got one last segment, and that's going to be going all the way up until 1 o'clock. And again, be sure to stay plugged into the streams because we got Royals on the FM airwaves. And if you have questions, 402-464-5685. And join the streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. I'm Harrison pushing the ones and twos. We got DP on the phone and Haas streaming in. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the attention of the Nebraska Lottery that when people hear a radio commercial in their car for one of our lotto games, Powerball, Mega Millions, or Lucky for Life, they tend to begin daydreaming about how they'll spend the prize money if they win, instead of paying attention to the road. So please, when I tell you that Nebraska Lottery lotto games offer big money and big fun, keep your mind on driving. Do not start thinking about all the things you could buy if you win. Things like bright red sports cars, tropical vacations, 100-inch TVs, hot tubs, SUVs, a new computer, motorboats.
Bob, snap out of it.
Oh, good heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Perhaps I should go home now.
You better let me drive.
Lotto games from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
This Easter, focus on your family instead of dishes with the Venue Easter to-go meals. Prepared fresh in house by our chefs, these meals are ready to heat and eat with packages for 2 to 3 people or 6 to 8, and your choice of juicy beef tenderloin, tasty herb roasted chicken, or our famous 6-pepper crusted prime rib. All meal packages come with sides, and we have additional add-ons available to complete your feast. Order today at venuedelivered.com/Easter. That's venuedelivered.com/Easter.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze here on Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison running the board on the 1s and 2s. We got Haas streaming in and DP on the phone as well. We kind of left off on the last one, talking about some of these storylines through SummerSlam. But Haas, we got 10 minutes left on this segment. We also still have the Big E. I know you talked about his neck earlier on kind of what that means. And I didn't realize you also must have had a neck injury because you prefaced that in your question. But nonetheless, we do still have that audio file if you want to play that later. But 10 minutes left. Where do you want to go with it?
So storylines, they're really important. And so with the storylines that they build them, and we've talked about 15 months in advance that they make these storylines. And so there's little ones where AJ Styles and Karrion Kross are battling for a while. They're bigger ones where the Judgment Day was on full display. And so with Finn Balor, one, DP said, why wasn't he the Demon? Well, because they're going to have him lose, I guess, is the real reason. But if he was going to win, you got to bring him out as the Demon, and you got to give him the belt. I really thought he should have had the belt last night, and there's so many more things they could have done if Finn Balor won. But now there's even more turmoil amongst the Judgment Day, and I think it's too soon to do that. But that is a storyline that we'll probably start Raw with on Monday. Finn Balor Senior Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. Why'd you come out? Why'd you do this? The face that Damian Priest had there when he threw him the briefcase, and instead of Seth Rollins, instead of Finn Balor using it to win, he used it to lose by getting stomped on it. And so Damian Priest's face was like, seriously, bro, I just hooked you up. I pulled the referee away, and that's what you do. You don't deserve to be the leader of this group. I'm the leader of this group. And then Rhea Ripley can come in and be like, Mommy's the leader of this group. And Dom, if he even gets a word in, well, he's clearly not the leader of the group. We're not gonna even try to attempt that. But he's the most hated person of the group. So there's a lot of potential with the storylines that comes from this. DP, where do you want to see it go with Judgment Day?
Yep, and real quick, bring DP in on the VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where we understand the importance of exceptional service with local hard. Got to shout out Allo for what they do. But DP, go ahead.
Yeah, this is where I am with it, and it leads also in the women's division. That your Money in the Bank winner, your international champion, let's name call. The Priest, Gunter, if you want to put Theory in the conversation, if you want to put the women's tag team champions in the conversation, and then the world tag team champions. They're not in the top 10 of like if you did a power ranking. They're not in the top 10, none of them. So I don't know, like, what are you doing? I mean, you gave the number 5 spot on the card, number 6 spot on the card to Finn Balor, and there's nothing. A top 5 performer didn't even perform. She jumped the rail and got involved that way. But exactly and then you gave the women's strap to, in the final moment with the 3 wrestlers that were there, and then Bayley alongside the 5th most talented wrestler, the 5th best wrestler in the women's division had the title. The 5th best fighter in the ring. Like, just in the ring. Becky wasn't even in the ring. It doesn't bounce with me. And I'm like, I hate being that fan, but I don't know what they're doing, because now one, you push Solo. Solo's still not in the top 10. Jimmy is not in the top 10. So you've got your 1A or 1B talent where he's punching down. You've got 1B just swinging it air, because, quite frankly, 2A needed 1B to get through. I don't know what they're doing. Like, I want it to make sense, and I want to have some idea, but it doesn't. Look, Sky wearing the strap, okay, but if you were in Vegas and you were betting against any of the top 5 wrestlers, you're not putting Io Sky above any of them. Like, you're not even putting her above Rousey and Baszler. So, and neither of the tag team champions. So, I guess chaos pays. People show up for the train wreck. It's a train wreck, and it's a beautiful train wreck, but it doesn't make sense to me.
How were you out on Sky? I didn't realize DP was. I get where he's coming from, but where are you out on that? Were you as disappointed?
It was needed. It was needed because you could still do many matches with Bianca and Flair and Ripley, and you can do so many things without the belt. So this will allow Io Sky to actually show off her wrestling skills and how she flies around the ring. No pun intended. You can actually go with the full-on Japan match and have her go against Asuka, and maybe give them managers, or maybe you just let them scream in Japanese. It doesn't matter if they can wrestle, and they can. So,
but it does matter. It does matter. It absolutely matters that there is no. The biggest third of pro wrestling is the psychology behind it. Your ability to connect with the character. and there's no connection. There's zero. It's a dead room. It's a dead room. You don't understand. Like you're just sitting there going, huh, okay. Like it's just you walking down the street and two people are fighting. You'll pay attention out of curiosity, but are you emotionally vested in it? Like that's the pitch and sell. It doesn't exist. At some point, I would love to have like a power tournament, like an NCAA, like March Madness. Only it's WWE Madness, and you have like I would like a super tournament that where 1 versus 2 fights. Like you get ranked 1 versus 2, equal versus equal, fight each other, and then 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. Let me see the best fighters against the best fighters. Instead of you matching and pairing, let me see the best against the best. Like this is why Super Bowl matters, World Series matters, because it's the best against the best. WWE is getting very close to being WBC and WBA boxing, and you have to be careful when you don't give people the fights they want. When you want to see people fight, the best fighters against each other, they're not doing it. That's what killed boxing, was being more of a matchmaker than you were a fighter organization. They have to be careful.
All right, so with that said, making the women's matches, knowing that Rousey's most likely done with WWE or retired based on how she allowed her best friend to submit and make her tap, since no one in WWE has actually made her tap.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you have Bianca Belair face? Who would you have Becky Lynch face? Because you talked about those two the most.
This is the last one before.
Well, I mean, if you told me, I mean, still the best performer is Bayley, and you could have put, I mean, I don't know, Trish Stratus is hanging around.
They'll fight tomorrow.
Have you had Trish versus Bianca or Trish? Have you had any of those matches? No. Like that's why you bring new ingredients into the soup. You make interesting and more diverse soup, a better soup. You've got matchups that are there, and you've got NXT, which is chock full of talent that you don't know how to use. Like you could match up. If you gave me the best fighters, and you told me, okay, so who's 1 and 2? And I think if you told me it's Rhea and Bianca would sell, Rhea and Charlotte would sell, Rhea and Asuka would sell, Rhea and Becky would sell, Rhea and Trish would sell. Who's number 2? Charlotte? Okay, Charlotte. Charlotte and Bianca, we know it sells. Charlotte and Bayley would sell. Charlotte and Becky again would sell. Charlotte and anybody from NXT would sell. Charlotte and Trish, that could be the main event on Monday Night Raw. So I don't know why you're not spinning the wheel and letting brilliant people be brilliant. You're taking the layup, and layups are fine. You can win games with layups. But are you paying top dollar for a game filled with layups? No. You want them to take some shots. Listen, look, the whole Steph Curry versus LeBron thing, LeBron versus KD, we know it sells, it moves. So why not do that? I don't want to see Giannis versus Julius Randle. That's not how. Like I don't need that. Give me the two big boys, the two big girls against each other, so we can sit on the edge of our seat and then stand up and applaud.
Loving the analogies, Haas. I'll let you respond on what you'd want to see, and I'll let you get us out of here.
So I was watching Raw on Monday with my daughter, and she's like, is SummerSlam going to be an all-women's match? And it's as if she listens to us and she hears DP. An all-women's pay-per-view would afford and allow all the things that DP said. And so then you can involve Beth Phoenix again, and you can involve various wrestlers. I think Shayna Baszler, don't be surprised for her to get a major push despite how dead the crowd was and despite how big of a flop it was to try to do MMA rules. You don't go beat Rousey like that and then just get no attention. Or maybe you do, because that's what WWE does. So the ability to make a tournament or an all-women's pay-per-view, that you've heard it from DP 3-4 times, and that's what I'm going to end with. Let's have that happen in the next year or two.
Absolutely. You guys bring it up all the time, but I don't see any reason why that wouldn't sell. Well, that being said, though, that's going to wrap it up for the Breeze. Shout out to DP and Haas for joining us as always. And again, catch the podcast at ticketfm.com or wherever you get your podcasts from, or even go to YouTube and watch all the Sunday shows. It's a great lineup on these Sundays mornings to the first hour of the afternoon, but we'll have more up next on the Sunday weeknights. Later today, we got Ricky C. Simmons, Husker Rewind, 2 great shows as always. That being said, we'll get out of here and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.